Hello ladies and gentlemen, in this video we are going to cover the most important questions of 4th week of December 2019. So now let's start. On which date the National Consumer Day is observed? Right answer is 24th of December. So National Consumer Day is observed on 24th of December every year, and the theme of this year was Alternate Consumer Grievance Redressal. Now why this 24th of December was selected? It was selected because on this date the Consumer Protection Act was enacted in 1986. Now if we talk about important days, 24th of December is National Consumer Day, 25th of December is Good Governance Day, 23rd of December is Farmers Day. Now this Good Governance Day is celebrated to commemorate the birth anniversary of late former Prime Minister Mr. Atal Bihari Vajpayee, and this Farmers Day is celebrated to commemorate former Prime Minister Chaudhry Charan Singh. And on 22nd of December, National Mathematics Day is celebrated. On 18th of December, International Migrants Day is celebrated. Answer in comment box on which date International Mountain Day is observed. Chilai Kala, sometimes seen in news, is related to which of the following? Right answer is harsh period of winter in Kashmir. So actually, it is a period of severe winter in Kashmir, and it is a 40-day period where there is a intense snowfall. Now if we talk about Jammu and Kashmir, the state was bifurcated into two union territories on 31st of October. 31st of October is the birth anniversary of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, and it is also observed as National Unity Day. Now coming back to Jammu and Kashmir, the Lieutenant Governor of Jammu and Kashmir is Mr. G.C. Murmu, and Lieutenant Governor of Ladakh is Mr. R.K. Mathur. And recently Jammu and Kashmir was also in news as Union Minister for MSME launched the sale of Khadi Rumal in Jammu and Kashmir in the militancy affected areas of Jammu and Kashmir. Now the objective of this initiative is to provide employment to the women in terrorist affected areas. Now if we talk about MSME, it stands for Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises, and present minister is Mr. Nitin Gadkari. And Mr. Pratap Chandra Sarangi is the Minister of State for MSME. Which railway station was recently awarded Eat Right Station certification? Right answer is Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj Terminus Railway Station. So recently, Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj Terminus Railway Station in Mumbai was awarded Eat Right Station certification. This certification was given under Eat Right movement. It is a movement by FSSAI. FSSAI is a body under Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. FSSAI stands for Food Safety and Standards Authority of India. Now, if we talk about this Eat Right initiative, recently the Mumbai Central Terminus of Western Railways was given the certification of India's first Eat Right station. The Swachh Shaniwar scheme, which has been in news, is being implemented in which state of India? Right answer is Karnataka. So the Swachh Shaniwar is an initiative in the rural parts of Bengaluru in Karnataka, and it is based on the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan initiative. Under this initiative, the villagers volunteer and clean the villages on every third Saturday of month. Actually, Shaniwar means Saturday. So this is an initiative by the Karnataka state government. Now, if we talk about Karnataka, the state was also in news as it decided to install GPS devices on garbage disposal trucks. State was also in news because of India Innovation Index. This index was prepared by Niti Aayog. Niti Aayog also published SCQI, that is School Education Quality Index. This index is topped by Kerala. Apart from that, Niti Aayog also published Composite Water Management Index. And answer in comment box which state topped this Composite Water Management Index. Now coming back to Karnataka, Karnataka was also in news as recently Hyderabad Karnataka region was renamed as Kalyan Karnataka. Apart from that, Karnataka was also in news as Karnataka won Vijay Hazare Trophy this year. Answer in comment box which team won Ranji Trophy this year. What is the upper limit of purchases from prepaid payment instrument, that is PPI, which was recently introduced by RBI? Right answer is 10,000 Indian rupees. So recently RBI introduced a new prepaid payment instrument. This PPI could be used for purchasing goods and services up to rupee 10,000, and the minimum details of the PPI holder will be required for its issue by both banks as well as non-bank PPI issuers. Lending on peer-to-peer platforms has been capped at how much by RBI? Right answer is 50 lakhs. To protect the interest of consumers, RBI capped the lending on peer-to-peer platforms, and this present cap is 50 lakhs rupee. Now, if we talk about this peer-to-peer lending, it is the practice of lending money to the individuals or business through online services. Now, if we talk about RBI, it is Reserve Bank of India. Present governor is Mr. Shaktikant Das. The headquarters of RBI is in Mumbai, and RBI was formed on the recommendations of Hilton Young Commission. Minorities from which of the following country or countries have been permitted by RBI to open bank accounts in India? Right answer is Pakistan and Bangladesh. So recently, RBI amended the Foreign Exchange Management Regulations and therefore enabled the minorities from Bangladesh and Pakistan to open NRO account. NRO stands for Non-Resident Ordinary Rupee Account. So as you can clearly understand that it is for non-residents, it will be in rupee and it is an ordinary account. And such NRO accounts can be converted into regular accounts once they become the citizen of India. That means these minorities which are living in Pakistan and Bangladesh can open an NRO account, and once these minorities get Indian citizenship, then these accounts can be converted into regular accounts. Now RBI was also in news because of Operation Twist. Actually, recently RBI announced its decision to buy and sell government securities, and this initiative has been given the name Operation Twist. Now, what is the objective of such initiative? Actually, such initiatives are taken in order to bring down the interest rate of long-term securities. Now, if we talk about buying and selling of government securities, it is known as OMO, that is Open Market Operations. So it is a tool used by RBI for liquidity management in our country. So the main aim of this open market operation is to regulate the money supply in country. Now it should be kept in mind that RBI operates this OMO through commercial banks. That means RBI does not deal with the public directly for buying and selling of government securities. Which region of Africa was recently deemed as most unequal on the continent by UNDP in terms of income? Right answer is South Africa. Here South Africa means the southern part of Africa, not the South Africa as a country. So as per the Human Development Index by UNDP, Southern Africa is the most unequal region, and inequality was at the highest in South Africa and Nigeria. Now if we talk about UNDP, it is United Nations Development Program, and recently UNDP was also in news because of HDI, that is Human Development Index, and this index is published by UNDP. This HDI measures 3 dimensions of human development. These 3 dimensions are life expectancy, education, and per capita income. And as per 2019 HDI index, India is on 129th position. Last year, India was on 130th position, and Norway is on top as per this HDI index this year. Norway is on 1st position, Switzerland is on 2nd, and Ireland is on 3rd position. The US-Mexico border wall construction is threatening which of the following protected site? Right answer is Organ Pipe Cactus National Monument. So it is a UNESCO Biosphere Reserve and it is a US national monument. Now it shares a border with Mexico, and the proposed construction of US-Mexico border wall is threatening this protected site. Now if we talk about Mexico, recently Mexico was in news as researchers from Mexico discovered a way to turn cactus leaves into non-toxic biodegradable material like plastic. That means this will have properties like plastic, however this is going to be a biodegradable. Apart from that, Mexico was also in news as recently Mexican actress Yalitza Aparicio was named as UNESCO ambassador. The headquarters of UNESCO is in France in Paris. In fact, the headquarters of Interpol is also in France in Lyon, and India is going to host the Interpol conference in 2022. In 2022, India will also host the G20 summit. Recently, Atal Bhujal Yojana was in news, and it deals with which sector? So, it deals with groundwater, and it is a scheme for management of groundwater resources. Actually, 25th of December is celebrated as Good Governance Day, and it is the birth anniversary of former Prime Minister Mr. Atal Bihari Vajpayee. And on this occasion, few initiatives were announced by the Government of India. One is Atal Bhujal Yojana. In addition to that, the tunnel under Rohtang Pass was renamed as Atal Tunnel. And third decision was the launch of Good Governance Index. Now, if we talk about Atal Bhujal Yojana, the scheme is being funded by the Government of India and World Bank on 50-50 basis. And the scheme is going to be implemented by Jal Shakti Ministry. Present Minister is Mr. Gajendra Singh Shekhawat. Now, it should be kept in mind this Atal Bhujal Yojana, it is a central sector scheme, and it is a scheme of worth 6,000 crore, and it is going to be implemented over next 5 years. The objective of this scheme is to ensure sustainable management of groundwater with community participation. Which committee had recommended the setting up of post of Chief of Defence Staff? Right answer is KRC, that is Kargil Review Committee. So the cabinet recently approved the creation of post of Chief of Defence Staff, that is CODS. Now this post will help in the coordination among 3 branches of armed forces, and this post is to be given to a 4-star general who is senior to the chiefs of all 3 defence forces, and the creation of this post was recommended by Kargil Review Committee. The recently adopted Nagpur resolution deals with which sector? Right answer is improving delivery of public service. So recently, Nagpur resolution was adopted during a regional conference organized by DARPG, that is Department of Administrative Reforms and Public Grievances. And the focus of this conference was improving public service delivery. And this Nagpur resolution focus on minimum government and maximum governance. Nagpur is in Maharashtra, and it is the constituency of Mr. Nitin Gadkari. He is present Minister of Road Transport and Highways as well as Minister of MSME. CDSCO was recently in news for flagging a large shipment of TB drugs as faulty. What does CDSCO stands for? So right answer is the Central Drugs Standards Control Organization. So recently, CDSCO was in news for flagging a large shipment of TB drugs as faulty. So recently, CDSCO was in news for flagging a large shipment of TB drugs as faulty. Now, if we talk about the CDSCO, it is a central drug authority, and the major functions of CDSCO includes regulatory control over the import of drugs, as well as approval of new drugs and clinical trials, and the meetings of Drugs Consultative Committee, as well as the meetings of Drugs Technical Advisory Board. And recently, CDSCO was also in news as Union Cabinet approved a Memorandum of Understanding between CDSCO and Saudi Food and Drug Authority. Now, this CDSCO functions under Union Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. Present Minister is Dr. Harshvardhan Singh. Constituency is Chandni Chowk in Delhi. If we talk about Saudi Arabia is going to be the host of next year G20 Summit. This year G20 Summit held in Japan. A chat and voice calling app has been labeled as a spy app by the United States intelligence, and therefore it was removed from Play Store as well as from App Store. Now the question is, what is the name of this app? So the name of this app is Totok. Actually, it is a chat and voice calling app that became quite popular. However, as per the US intelligence agencies, this was a spy app. That means it was used for the surveillance purpose. Now, as per the media reports, this Totok app was used by the government of UAE for the surveillance of those who installed this app on their phone. Now, if we talk about UAE, the capital of UAE is Abu Dhabi. Dubai is the largest city of UAE, and recently Dubai was in news because world's first camel hospital was started in UAE, in Dubai. Now, the headquarters of ICC is also in Dubai. ICC stands for International Cricket Council, and recently ICC banned Bangladesh cricketer Saqib Al Hasan. UAE was also in news as the world's first graduate level artificial intelligence university will be set up in UAE. Apart from that, world's oldest pearl was also discovered from UAE. What is the name of new initiative which was installed at Nashik station to tackle the air pollution? Right answer is Oxygen Parlor. So Oxygen Parlor is an initiative introduced in Nashik railway station, and it is a project between Indian Railways and Air Guard to tackle the issue of air pollution. It is a transparent enclosure filled with plants noted for their ability to purify the air. Now, if we talk about Indian Railways, present Railway Minister is Mr. Piyush Goyal, and recently he announced that Indian Railways will be net zero carbon emitter by 2030. Apart from that, Railways was also in news as recently Health ATM was installed at Lucknow railway station. Lucknow is in Uttar Pradesh, and recently Lucknow was in news as Pradhan Mantri Mr. Modi unveiled the statue of former Prime Minister Mr. Atal Bihari Vajpayee in Lucknow. Lucknow was also in news as it was the host of 47th All India Police Science Congress. The Nelamangala Detention Center is the first detention center for illegal immigrants. Now the question is, it is situated in which state of India? Right answer is Karnataka. So this Nelamangala Detention Center is the first of its kind in Karnataka, and it is meant for housing illegal immigrants. Now, if we talk about Karnataka, recently Karnataka was in news as it decided to install GPS devices on garbage trucks. That means GPS devices on the trucks which are used for the disposal of garbage. This decision was taken to prevent the rampant corruption in garbage disposal. Apart from that, Karnataka was also in news because of India Innovation Index. The index was prepared by Niti Aayog, and as per this index, Karnataka is the top state. That means Karnataka is top performing state. Niti Aayog is executive body. That means neither it is mentioned in the constitution nor it is backed by any statute. Karnataka was also in news as it was the top performer as per SARAL index. SARAL stands for State Rooftop Solar Attractiveness Index. Now, Karnataka was also in news as recently it won Vijay Hazare Trophy. Pakistan, one among the 3 countries in the world with polio endemic, is planning to import polio markers from India. Which are the 2 other countries? So, answer is Afghanistan and Nigeria. Currently, there are only 3 countries in the world where polio is still endemic. These 3 countries are Pakistan, Nigeria, and Afghanistan. Now, Pakistan and Afghanistan are the Asian countries, while Nigeria is African country. Actually, after the abrogation of Article 370, Pakistan had suspended the import of polio markers from India. Now, recently Pakistan cabinet had decided to import polio markers, and that's why this question was in news. And that's why this topic was in news. Now, what is the use of these polio markers? Actually, these polio markers are used to mark the fingers of children after they were given polio vaccination. Now, if we talk about Pakistan, recently Pakistan was in news because it became the first country to introduce new vaccine to combat typhoid. Pakistan was also in news because of Kartarpur corridor. In addition to that, recently Pakistan was also in news as Pakistan had issued special permits to Emir of Qatar to hunt Hobara bustards. If we talk about Qatar, the capital of Qatar is Doha. Qatar is going to be the host of FIFA World Cup in 2022. And recently, in 2019, Qatar left OPEC. Headquarters of OPEC is in Vienna. In 2020, Ecuador has decided to leave OPEC. The headquarters of IAEA is also in Vienna. IAEA stands for International Atomic Energy Agency. Now coming back to Pakistan, Pakistan was also in news as it was the host of 7th Regional Forum of IUCN. IUCN stands for International Union for Conservation of Nature, and this forum held in Islamabad in Pakistan. Now IUCN was also in news as recently it updated its red list, and as per the updated list, 1840 new species were added into this red list. This red list consists of a catalogue of plants and animals that risk extinction, and this updated red list was released during COP25. This COP25 held in Madrid in Spain. Previously, it was supposed to be held in Chile. However, because of civil unrest in the country, Chile government decided not to host it, and therefore the venue was shifted to Madrid in Spain. Which organization gives forecast on general locust situation in global community? Right answer is FAO, that is Food and Agriculture Organization. Actually, recently Gujarat was in news because of this locust invasion. This is serious for the crops as this led to significant damage to crops. This locust is a invasive species and this locust is locally known as tiddy. Now coming back to FAO. FAO gives timely information on the general locust condition to the global community, and therefore it provides warning and forecast to those countries that are likely to be in danger of locust invasion. If we talk about FAO, it is Food and Agriculture Organization. The headquarters of FAO is in Rome in Italy, and recently Italy was in news as it decided to impose web tax on digital companies from 2020. It is similar to GAFA tax by France. GAFA stands for Google, Apple, Facebook, Amazon. Now, Italy was also in news as it is going to be the host of 2026 Winter Olympic Games. China is going to be the host of 2022 Winter Olympic Games. On the other hand, if we talk about Summer Olympic Games, Japan is going to be the host of Summer Olympic Games in 2020 and France is going to be the host of Summer Olympic Games in 2024. Now, Italy was also in news as it is going to be the host of G20 Summit in 2021. This year, that means in 2020, G20 Summit will be hosted by Saudi Arabia. And recently, Saudi Arabia was in as it became the member of FATF, that is Financial Action Task Force. Saudi Arabia was also in news as for the first time it became a member of World Heritage Committee of UNESCO. Which app was recently released by the President to improve access to blood banks? Right answer is Red Cross app. So recently, President of India released the mobile app of Red Cross Society of India in Hyderabad. So this app was developed by the Telangana Center for Good Governance. Now, this app will ensure easier access to blood banks and Red Cross membership. If we talk about Telangana, recently Telangana was in news as India Corruption Survey was released. It was prepared by Transparency International India and Local Circles. It is a social media firm. As per this India Corruption Survey, Telangana is on top in South India in terms of corruption. Overall, Rajasthan is on top in India in terms of corruption and Bihar is on second position after Rajasthan. Now, Telangana was also in news as recently former High Court Judge Mr. C.V. Ramulu has been appointed as the Lokayukt in Telangana. The Governor of Telangana is Dr. Tamilisai Soundarajan. And this is the first time that state government has constituted the Lokayukt and Human Rights Commission since the formation of state in 2014. Now answer in comment box, is this State Human Rights Commission a statutory body or a constitutional body? Now Telangana was also in news as Telangana government collaborated with World Economic Forum for the Medicine from Sky project. And the objective of this project is to deliver emergency medical supplies such as blood and vaccines with the help of drones. Telangana was also in news as it is going to celebrate 2020 as Year of Artificial Intelligence. Apart from that, Telangana was also in news as recently Supreme Court set up an inquiry commission to probe the circumstances of police encounter of 4 persons accused in the gang rape case in Hyderabad. And this inquiry commission is headed by Justice V.S. Sirpurkar. So, this commission is also known as Sirpurkar Commission. The Russian ambassador recently brought up the Eurasian Economic Union with relations to India. Now, how many countries are the members of this EEU, that is Eurasian Economic Union? Right answer is 5. So, 5 countries are the member of this EEU. These 5 countries are Russia, Kyrgyzstan, Kazakhstan, Belarus, and Armenia. Now, India is currently negotiating for trade agreements with EEU. Now, these 3 countries are also the part of SCO. SCO stands for Shanghai Cooperation Organization. The headquarters of SCO is in Beijing in China. Now, it should be kept in mind that Turkmenistan is the one Central Asian country out of those 5 countries which is not member of SCO. Now, India and Pakistan became the full-fledged member of SCO in 2017 after Astana Summit. And recently, the name of Astana was changed and the new name of Astana is Nur Sultan. Now answer in comment box, it is the capital of which country? If we talk about China, China was also in news because of 2022 Winter Olympic Games. Apart from that, this year China was the host of World Military Games, and these games held in Wuhan in China. In fact, the first informal summit between Chinese President Mr. Xi Jinping and Indian Prime Minister Mr. Modi held in Wuhan, and the second informal summit between these two leaders held in Mamallapuram Answer in comment box. Mamallapuram is in which state of India? Britain has finally decided to leave the European Union on which decided date? Right answer is 31st of January 2020. So Britain is going to leave European Union on 31st of January 2020. Now if we talk about this Brexit, it means UK coming out of European Union. That means UK do not want to be the member of this European Union, and this thing is termed as Brexit. Now if we talk about UK, recently parliamentary elections held in UK and Mr. Boris Johnson got re-elected as the Prime Minister of UK. UK is one of the P5 countries. P5 stands for permanent members of United Nations Security Council. So US, UK, France, Russia and China are the permanent members of United Nations Security Council. Army Design Bureau Excellence Award was presented to Major Anoop Mishra this year for which indigenous invention? Right answer is bulletproof jacket. So recently Major Anoop was facilitated by Army Chief General Bipin Rawat with Army Design Bureau Excellence Award, and he was given this award for indigenously developing bulletproof jacket that can provide protection against various ammunitions including sniper rifles. Now if we talk about Indian Army, recently Indian Army was in news because of OASIS initiative. OASIS stands for Officers Automated Structures Information System, and this is a system for the digitization of records of army officers. Now one more thing, this indigenously prepared bulletproof jacket is known as Sarvatra Kavach. Now Indian Army was also in news as recently it successfully test fired spike missiles. If we talk about these spike missiles, these are LR, that is long range missiles, and these are anti-tank missiles, and these missiles are developed by Israel's Rafael Advanced Defense System. Which state is going to observe 2020 as Susashan Sankalp Varsh? Right answer is Haryana. So Haryana is going to observe 2020 as Good Governance Year. Now if we talk about good governance, 25th of December is celebrated as Good Governance Day. It is celebrated on the birth anniversary of former Prime Minister Mr. Atal Bihari Vajpayee. Now this year on Good Governance Day, Government of India released Good Governance Index, and this index divided states and union territories into three categories. One is big states, another one is hill states and northeast states of India. Third one is union territories. So if we consider big states, then Tamil Nadu is the top performer. On the other hand, Goa, Uttar Pradesh and Jharkhand are the worst performers. If we talk about hill states and northeast states, then Himachal Pradesh is on top. And in case of union territories, Puducherry is on top while Lakshadweep is the worst performing union territory. Now answer in comment box, Lakshadweep Union Territory is under the jurisdiction of which High Court? So Haryana is going to celebrate 2020 as Good Governance Year. On the other hand, Telangana is going to celebrate 2020 as Year of Artificial Intelligence. And recently it was in news that world's first graduate level artificial intelligence university will be started in UAE. The capital of UAE is Abu Dhabi and Dubai is the largest city of UAE. And recently in Dubai, world's first camel hospital was started. India's first elephant hospital was started in Uttar Pradesh. Which government is going to conduct night walk to promote women empowerment? Right answer is Kerala. So Kerala Women and Child Development Department is going to conduct night walk for women, and the objective of this initiative is to spread awareness about the increasing violence against women. And this event is going to be conducted between 11 AM to 1 AM at 100 locations in Kerala. Now if we talk about Kerala, recently former Kerala Minister Mr. Thomas Chandi passed away. Kerala was also in news as Kerala will be setting up India's first IWTC, that is International Women's Trade Center. Kerala was also in news as recently Kerala High Court passed a judgment that access to internet is a fundamental right. Now answer in comment box, how many fundamental rights are mentioned in Constitution of India and how many of them are applicable only on Indians? That means how many fundamental rights are exclusively for Indians? Now coming back to Kerala, Kerala was also in news because of Silver Line project, as recently government approved Kerala semi-high speed rail project, and the name of this project is Silver Line project. So a question could be asked that Silver Line project is associated to which state or associated to which sector? The government recently announced free internet services to all villages by March 2020. Now which initiative will be used to achieve this objective? Right answer is BharatNet. So BharatNet will be used to provide free internet services to the all villages by March 2020. If we talk about BharatNet, it is a network infrastructure initiated in 2017, and this project seeks to provide affordable last mile internet connectivity to the 2.5 lakh village panchayats in our country. And Ministry of Communication is the nodal agency to implement this project, and the funding will be through USOF, that is Universal Service Obligation Fund. Actually, this USOF was formed by the Government of India to help funding projects in rural areas, and the money for this fund, that means money for USOF, comes from Universal Access Levy, and this money is charged from telecom operators. And therefore this money is used for rural projects. ASI recently discovered Sanskrit inscriptions about Saptamatriksha in Andhra Pradesh. These were issued by which king? Right answer is Satavahana King Vijaya. So recently ASI discovered inscriptions in Andhra Pradesh which was issued by Satavahana King Vijaya. It is written in Brahmi script, and it is oldest example of its kind in South India. Now if we talk about ASI, it is Archaeological Survey of India and it is under Ministry of Culture. And recently ASI was in news as ASI installed Chinese signboards at 5 ASI protected sites. These are installed to help foreign tourists, and these 5 protected sites are Sarnath, Chokhandi Stupa, Kushinagar Pipra Hawa, Sravasti. Next question is, which river Harshvardhan Shringla is going to be the next foreign secretary? Now, who is present foreign secretary? Right answer is Mr. V.K. Gokhale, that is Mr. Vijay Kesav Gokhale. So, Mr. V.K. Gokhale will be succeeded by Mr. Harshvardhan Shringla. Prior to Mr. V.K. Gokhale, Mr. S. Jaishankar was the foreign secretary, and presently Mr. S. Jaishankar is the Minister of External Affairs. Answer in comment box, who is present Home Secretary? Who received the Dada Sahab Phalke Award in 2019? Right answer is Mr. Amitabh Bachchan. So Dada Sahab Phalke Award is India's highest award in cinema, and this award is presented annually at the National Film Awards ceremony, and this is set up by the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting. And this year Mr. Amitabh Bachchan received Dada Sahab Phalke Award. Who won the 2019 Jharkhand Assembly elections? Right answer is Jharkhand Mukti Morcha. So recently elections held in Jharkhand, and the alliance of Jharkhand Mukti Morcha, Congress and RJD won the state elections, and Mr. Hemant Soren became the Chief Minister of Jharkhand. Previously Mr. Raghuvar Das was the Chief Minister. FDA has recently approved Arvebo. Now what exactly is this Arvebo? Right answer is Ebola vaccine. So recently Food and Drug Administration became the first to approve this Arvebo, and this is an Ebola vaccine developed by Merck. And recently Ebola was in news because of outbreak in Republic of Congo. Who has won the recent Afghanistan presidential elections? Right answer is Mr. Ashraf Ghani. So recently Mr. Ashraf Ghani won the presidential elections in Afghanistan. If we talk about Afghanistan, the capital of Afghanistan is Kabul, and recently Afghanistan was in news because of Chabahar port. Actually India, Iran and Afghanistan are cooperating for this Chabahar port project, and recently the second follow-up meeting for this project held in Delhi. If we talk about Iran, this Chabahar port is situated in Iran, and recently Iran was in news because of sanctions on Iran by USA. USA imposed sanctions on Iran, and therefore the economy of Iran is crippling. And now recently three countries, UK, Germany and France, started Instex. Now, Instex is a mechanism to bypass those US sanctions on Iran and to continue trade with Iran. Instex stands for Instrument in Support of Trade Exchanges. On which date the Good Governance Day is observed? Right answer is 25th of December. So Good Governance Day is observed on 25th of December every year, and it is observed to mark the birth anniversary of former Prime Minister Mr. Atal Bihari Vajpayee. Actually, it was started in 2014, and since then 25th of December is celebrated as Good Governance Day. On the occasion of Good Governance Day, the Government of India took certain decisions. We are going to cover these major aspects. First is launch of Atal Bhujal Yojana. Second one is naming of tunnel under Rohtang Pass as Atal Tunnel. And third one is Good Governance Index. Now, if we talk about Atal Bhujal Yojana, it is a groundwater management scheme, and for this scheme, the funding pattern would be 50-50. That means 50% of funding would be provided by Government of India and rest of the 50% would be provided by World Bank. And Jal Shakti Ministry is going to be implementing authority for this scheme. Second decision is naming of tunnel under Rohtang Pass as Atal Tunnel. So this is world's longest tunnel above an altitude of 3000 meters, and it is situated in the state of Himachal Pradesh. Third thing is Good Governance Index. We are going to cover this in upcoming question. Strategic tunnel under Rohtang Pass was recently renamed after which of the following individuals? Right answer is Atal Bihari Vajpayee. So it was renamed after Vajpayee ji. It is a tunnel in Himachal Pradesh and it is present on the Pir Panjal range of Himalayas. The Crimean bridge that was inaugurated recently is built across which strait? Right answer is Kerch Strait. So the Crimean bridge is a pair of Russian constructed bridges that connect the Taman Peninsula and Kerch Peninsula of Crimea. It is longest bridge ever built in Russia, and that's why it is important. What is the purpose of ePMB app of Punjab government? Right answer is transparent functioning of Mandi. So ePMB app of Punjab government was introduced for improving transparency in the functioning of mandis. Now, what is the purpose of these mandis? These are used to store agricultural produce. So this ePMB stands for Punjab Mandi Board, and this is an app for improving the transparency in the functioning of mandi. And with the help of this app, the farmers will be able to determine which mandi is in the vicinity and has the capacity to store their produce. So if we talk about Punjab, Punjab was also in news as recently it passed the amendment of Punjab Village Common Land Rules, and therefore it aims to create land banks in rural areas to boost industrial development. Punjab was also in news as it was the host of World Kabaddi Cup this year. Punjab was also in news as recently Punjab Cabinet passed a resolution to institute Sri Guru Nanak Dev Ji Award. Apart from that, Punjab was also in news as recently Mr. Vinod Kumar Sharma was appointed as the Lokpal of Punjab. The bar-headed goose, which was recently spotted in Kerala, are the native species of which countries? Right answer is China and Mongolia. So bar-headed goose is a rare migratory bird and they breed in China and Mongolia. And during winter seasons, they migrate southwards. So they are noted for taking the migratory route over the Himalayan range. And recently they were in news because they were spotted in Kerala's wetlands. So these bar-headed goose breed in China and Mongolia, and during winter season they migrate towards south. And at the end of winter season, they start migrating back to China and Mongolia. India's National Mathematics Day is celebrated on 22nd of December every year. Now the question is that in whose memory this day is celebrated? Right answer is Srinivas Ramanujam. So it is celebrated to commemorate Mr. Srinivas Ramanujam, and that is why this National Mathematics Day is celebrated every year on 22nd of December. Now since 2012, every year on 22nd of December, National Mathematics Day is celebrated. Acute Respiratory Infection, which is claiming the lives in Bangladesh, is caused by which organism? Right answer is virus. So acute respiratory infection has claimed the lives of 16 individuals in Bangladesh, and that's why this thing was in news. Actually, it is a serious infection that prevents normal breathing rate. Now, it is induced by a virus infection, and if it is not treated, then it can spread the entire respiratory system. Now, if we talk about Bangladesh, recently Bangladesh was in news as WEF released gender gap report, and as per that report, Bangladesh is top performing country in South Asia. Bangladesh is on 50th position, India is on 112nd position. Last year, India was on 108th position. If we talk about gender gap report, for the first time it was published in 2006. And as per gender gap report, this year Iceland was on top. Actually, Iceland is on top since last 11 years. And this year, Yemen is on bottom position. In which state India's first university for transgender community will be opened? Right answer is Uttar Pradesh. So, India's first university for transgender community will be established in Kushinagar district of Uttar Pradesh. The Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh is Mr. Yogi Adityanath, and this university for transgender community will be set up by Akhil Bhartiya Kinnar Shiksha Seva Trust. Now, if we talk about Uttar Pradesh, recently Uttar Pradesh was in news as it is going to be the host of this year's Defense Expo. That means Defense Expo in 2020. Apart from that, Uttar Pradesh was also in news as recently it launched a dedicated portal and mobile application named e-Ganna. Ganna stands for sugarcane, so this is for sugarcane farmers, and this will provide information to farmers related to sugarcane. Apart from that, Uttar Pradesh was also in news as recently it launched campaign against filaria. In addition to that, Uttar Pradesh was also in news as recently it opened Etawah Lion Safari for general public. It is in Uttar Pradesh. Apart from that, recently NCRB released crime data. NCRB stands for National Crime Record Bureau. It is an organization under Ministry of Home Affairs. Present Home Minister is Mr. Amit Shah. Now coming back to NCRB report. As per NCRB report, Uttar Pradesh is on top in terms of violence against women. That means crimes against women. On the other hand, recently CRI also released a report. CRI stands for Child Rights and You. And as per this report, Uttar Pradesh is also on top position in terms of crimes against children. Now this CRI is a non-governmental organization. Apart from that, Uttar Pradesh was also in news as recently it was the host of All India Police Science Congress, and this congress held in Lucknow, and for this congress Ms. Kiran Bedi was the chief guest. She is the first female IPS officer of India. IPS stands for Indian Police Service. Who is Madan Mohan Malviya, who was recently mentioned in news? Right answer is freedom fighter. So Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya was a well-known freedom fighter, and 25th of December is his birth anniversary. Now, if we talk about Mr. Madan Mohan Malviya, posthumously he was conferred Bharat Ratna in 2014. In addition to that, a train was named after Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya in 2016, and the name of this train is Mahamana Express, and this train runs between Delhi and Varanasi. It should be kept in mind that Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya was the founder of BHU, that is Banaras Hindu University, and this BHU is in Varanasi. Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya also founded Hindu Mahasabha. What is Sire Directory that was recently launched by Madhya Pradesh government? Right answer is Matrimonial Record of Cattle. So recently, Madhya Pradesh Animal Husbandry Department has compiled Matrimonial Record of Cattle, and this was launched as Sire Directory. Now, if we talk about Madhya Pradesh, recently state of Madhya Pradesh was in news as the first mega food park of central India was launched in Devas in Madhya Pradesh. If we talk about mega food park, it is an initiative of Ministry of Food Processing and Industries, and the present minister is Harsimrat Kaur Badal. Now coming back to Madhya Pradesh was also in news as state government recently decided to provide 5% reservation to sports persons in government jobs. Madhya Pradesh was also in news as recently Government of India and Asian Development Bank signed an agreement worth $490 million for the upgradation of roads in Madhya Pradesh. Apart from that, the state was also in news as recently Tansen Samaro held in Madhya Pradesh in Gwalior. And this Tansen Samaro is the oldest classical music festival of India. Which of the following is called the Falcon Capital of World? Right answer is Nagaland. So Nagaland is called as the Falcon Capital of World. Actually, these Amur falcons are the small migratory raptor that breeds in Siberia and China. They are raptors and they are migratory species. And during winter times, they migrate to India. And Doyang Valley in Nagaland is the place where these birds stop during migration in winter. And therefore, Nagaland is called as the Falcon Capital of World. Now, if we talk about Nagaland, recently Nagaland government extended the ILP to Dimapur. ILP stands for Inner Line Permit. If we talk about ILP, recently MHA extended ILP to Manipur. So, therefore, Manipur became the fourth state which is having ILP. As of now, Arunachal Pradesh, Mizoram, Nagaland and Manipur have Inner Line Permit. And recently, this ILP was in news because of Citizenship Amendment Act, as the Home Minister had announced that this law of Citizenship Amendment Act will not be applicable in the areas of ILP as well as in the areas of 6th Schedule of Constitution. According to Article 244 of Indian Constitution, 6th Schedule provides for the administration of tribal areas in Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura and Mizoram. Now, one important fact that you should keep in mind about CAA is that it talks about 3 countries, 6 religions and the cutoff date is 31st of December 2014. Which of the following is the only ape found in India? Right answer is Haluk gibbon. So, the tailless Haluk gibbon is the only ape found in India and it is the native to eastern Bangladesh, northeast India and southwest China. Now, it is categorized into 2 categories. One is eastern Haluk gibbon and another one is western Haluk gibbon. And both these species are listed under Wildlife Protection Act of 1972. Where is China constructing the Dara Sakor International Airport? Right answer is Cambodia. So as you can see in the map, this is Cambodia and this is the Dara Sakor region. And if we talk about global and if we talk about bigger picture, you can see this is Cambodia. It shares border boundary with Thailand. Now, recently this Dara Sakor International Airport was in news as it is being built by China in Cambodia. And it is going to be the country's largest airstrip. Now, it should be kept in mind that this Dara Sakor occupies approximately 20% of the coastline of Cambodia. Now, one more thing. Cambodia is an Asian country. Answer in comment box whether it is a member of ASEAN or not. The National Farmers Day is celebrated in the honor of which Indian Prime Minister? Right answer is Chaudhry Charan Singh. So, National Farmers Day is celebrated every year on 23rd of December in the memory of ex-Prime Minister Chaudhry Charan Singh. He was the 5th Prime Minister of India and because of his key role in the farming sector, his memorial is also known as Kisan Ghat. Now, if we talk about important days, Farmers Day is celebrated every year on 23rd of December. On the other hand, Mathematics Day is celebrated every year on 22nd of December. And this day is celebrated to mark the birth anniversary of Mr. Srinivas Ramanujam. Apart from that, 18th of December is celebrated as International Migrants Day. On the other hand, 20th of December is celebrated as International Human Solidarity Day. Which NASA spacecraft has recently taken a picture of asteroid Phaethon? Right answer is Parker Solar Probe. So recently, Phaethon asteroid was in news as NASA's Parker Solar Probe has taken a picture of this asteroid Phaethon. This NASA's Parker Solar Probe was launched in 2018. Now, if we talk about NASA, it is National Aeronautics and Space Administration. It is a space agency of USA. And recently, USA was in news as US President Mr. Donald Trump signed US Space Force. Apart from that, USA was also in news because of DASKA. Actually, it is a law made by USA to impose sanctions against Russia. Now, there is one more law, that is CAATSA. Answer in comment box what is the full form of this CAATSA. Now, coming back to NASA, NASA was also in news as recently it launched first ever all-electric aircraft. And the name of this aircraft is X-57 Maxwell. Many civilians were recently killed in Burkina Faso due to terror strike in the military base. Now question is, it is situated in which part of world? West Africa. So it is a landlocked country and it is situated in the western side of Africa. And recently it was in news because of violence. Typhoon Phanfone had recently hit which of the following countries? Right answer is Philippines. So Typhoon Phanfone had hit the central Philippines. This Typhoon Phanfone is locally known as Ursula. That means in Philippines it was also known as Ursula. If we talk about Philippines, Philippines was also in news because of Typhoon Kamuri. If we talk about typhoon, or you can pronounce it in any manner, actually cyclones are popularly known as typhoons in Southeast Asia and China. So it is a cyclone. Now cyclones are Lina, that is in northern hemisphere. Cyclones are low inside and anti-clockwise. This is not important for banking students, but those who have GS as syllabus, this is important for them. So Lina means in northern hemisphere, cyclones are low inside and the direction is anti-clockwise. Now Philippines is also known for Ramon Magsaysay Award. Actually, this award is named after the third president of Philippines, and popularly this award is known as Asia's Nobel Prize. And this year it was given to NDTV editor Mr. Ravish Kumar. Philippines is very prone to climate vulnerabilities, and recently a global climate risk index was in news. Answer in comment box, as per this index, which country is on top and what is India's ranking as per this index? Which American firm is developing the Project Kuiper, which is to launch thousands of satellites into space? So Amazon is working on this project, and this will form a mega constellation of satellites that will provide low-cost space internet to public. And these satellites are to operate from LEO, that is low Earth orbit. If we talk about Amazon, the founder is Mr. Jeff Bezos, and recently Amazon was also in news because of Project Zero. It was launched in India to prevent the sale of counterfeit goods. Amazon was also in news as recently Amazon's Audible launched Audible Suno in India. This is an app for audio entertainment. Apart from that, Amazon was also in news as recently Forbes released a list of real-time billionaires, and this list was topped by Mr. Jeff Bezos. Which university is to offer the novel Bhoot Vidya course to tackle psychosomatic disorders? Right answer is BHU. So BHU is set to offer a new course, Bhoot Vidya or Ghost Studies, to tackle the psychosomatic disorders. The course is to be taught by Ayurveda facility. Now, if we talk about BHU, it was founded by Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya, and recently on 25th of December, his birth anniversary was celebrated. Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya was conferred Bharat Ratna posthumously, and he founded BHU, that is Banaras Hindu University in Varanasi. And there is a train in his honor, and the name of train is Mahamana Express. This train is between Delhi and Varanasi. If we talk about Varanasi, recently Destination Northeast Festival held in Varanasi. This Varanasi city is in Uttar Pradesh. Apart from that, Varanasi was also in news as recently KVIC launched first terracotta grinder in Varanasi. KVIC is Khadi and Village Industries Commission. Answer in comment box, it is under which ministry? Apart from that, Varanasi was also in news as India's fastest indigenous train, Train 18, which is also known as Vande Bharat Express, runs from Delhi to Varanasi. National Street Food Festival was organized by which of the following institutions? Right answer is NASVI, that is National Association of Street Vendors of India. So recently, NASVI partnered with FSSAI and organized National Street Food Festival. And the theme of this year's food festival was healthier diets. Now, if we talk about FSSAI, it is Food Safety and Standards Authority of India. It is under Health Ministry. Present Health Minister is Mr. Harshvardhan Singh, and his constituency is Chandni Chowk. Now, if we talk about Health Ministry, recently Health Minister Dr. Harshvardhan launched Suman initiative. Suman stands for Surakshit Matritva Aswashan. Now answer in comment box, what is the objective of this initiative? Apart from that, Health Ministry also launched SAS campaign. SAS stands for social awareness and action to neutralize pneumonia successfully. So this is a campaign to prevent child mortality due to pneumonia. As per recently released report by Global Alliance on Health and Pollution, which country saw the most deaths due to pollution? Right answer is our own country, that is India. So as per the new report 2019 Pollution and Health Metrics, Global and Regional as well as country analysis, India saw the highest number of deaths due to pollution. India is followed by China and Nigeria. Now as per this report, in 2017, India had most deaths caused by pollution and the number was approximately 2.3 million. That's a huge number. And in China, it was approximately 1.8 million. Now, one important thing you should keep in mind is that this report consists of 3 lists. And India is the only country that features in top 10 in all 3 lists. So that is something which is very serious. If we talk about total number of deaths due to pollution, India is on top. However, if we talk about deaths due to pollution in proportion to population, then Chad is on top. It is an African country, while India is on top in terms of overall total number. The African country, Gabon, is adjacent to which major gulf? Right answer is Gulf of Guiana. So as you can see, Gabon is adjacent to Gulf of Guiana. And recently, it was in news because of piracy events. Actually, 4 ships were attacked by pirates and that's why the Gulf of Guiana as well as Gabon was in news. Galapagos National Park, sometimes seen in news, is located in which country? So right answer is Ecuador. So as you can see, it is in Pacific Ocean and Galapagos Islands are the territory of Ecuador. And this Galapagos National Park is located on this island. Now recently it was in news because of oil spill. Actually because of oil spill in this area, Ecuador has declared emergency. Now if we talk about Ecuador, recently Ecuador was also in news as it decided to quit OPEC in 2020. OPEC stands for Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries. So Ecuador is going to quit OPEC in 2020. This year, Qatar already left OPEC. Qatar is going to be the host of FIFA World Cup in 2022. Now, if we talk about OPEC, the headquarters of OPEC is in Vienna in Austria. Now, Vienna is also the headquarters of IAEA, that is International Atomic Energy Agency. And recently, Mr. Rafael Marino Grossi has been elected as the chief of IAEA. And Mr. Rafael Marino Grossi is from Argentina. And recently, Argentina was in news as Mr. Alberto Fernandez won the presidential elections of Argentina. The Turk Stream is a gas pipeline under which water body? Right answer is Black Sea. So this Turk Stream is a natural gas pipeline link between Russia and Turkey and it is below Black Sea. Now there is one more pipeline between Russia and Turkey and the name of this pipeline is Blue Stream. If we talk about Turkey, the president of Turkey is Mr. Recep Erdogan, capital of Turkey is Ankara and the currency of Turkey is Turkish lira. Chokhandi Stupa, where recently Chinese signboards were installed, is in which state of India? Right answer is Uttar Pradesh. So Chokhandi Stupa is situated in Uttar Pradesh and as per ASI, that is Archaeological Survey of India, it is a monument of national importance. And recently ASI installed signboards in Chinese as more than 1 lakh Chinese tourists visit this site. So for their convenience, Chinese signboards were installed. If we talk about ASI, it is under Ministry of Culture and it was founded in 1861. Answer in comment box who was the first Director General of ASI. Now one more important fact is that UNESCO celebrate World Heritage Week from 19th November to 25th November. And in India, ASI, that is Archaeological Survey of India, celebrate this week. The recently unveiled long-distance CNG bus project was executed by which natural gas distributor? Right answer is IGL, that is Indraprasth Gas Limited. So India's first long-distance bus powered by CNG was unveiled in Delhi. It can operate for a distance of 1000 km and the CNG bus project was executed by IGL. Now if we talk about CNG, recently Gujarat government has given approval to CNG terminal facility at Bhavnagar port, and this is going to be world's first CNG port terminal. If we talk about Gujarat, the Chief Minister of Gujarat is Mr. Vijay Rupani, and recently Gujarat was in news as it banned the sale of junk food in schools and 50-meter area around them. Gujarat was also in news as recently Gandhinagar became the first kerosene-free district of Gujarat. Apart from that, the Government of India is going to establish National Maritime Museum in Lothal in Gujarat. What is recently tested sovereign runnet? Right answer is Russian domestic internet. Actually, this sovereign runnet is a domestic internet being developed and tested by Russia. This system allows Russian government to control the point of connection between Russia and rest of world. So this will help in keeping an eye on Russian internet and its connectivity with global network. So this will allow government to restrict the internet. Now, if we talk about Russia, Russia was also in news as from 1st of November, Russia's sovereign internet law came into existence. Russia was also in news because of Power of Siberia. It is a gas pipeline between Russia and China, and recently it was in news because it was inaugurated by Russian President Mr. Putin and Chinese President Mr. Xi Jinping. Russia was also in news because of DASKA. Actually, it is Defending American Security from Kremlin Aggression Act. And as per this act, USA can impose sanctions on Russia. USA can impose sanctions on Russia via CAATSA, that is Countering American Adversaries Through Sanctions Act. And with the help of this act, USA has already imposed sanctions on Iran and North Korea. Now, if we talk about USA was also in news as recently US President signed National Defense Authorization Act and therefore directing the establishment of US Space Force. Which state has recently approved the Mahatma Jyotirao Phule Farmer Loan Waiver Scheme? Right answer is Maharashtra. So recently Maharashtra government approved Mahatma Jyotirao Phule Farmer Loan Waiver Scheme that allows waiver for crop arrears. The objective of this initiative is to make farmers debt-free and to provide relief to non-defaulting farmers. Now, if we talk about Maharashtra, the Chief Minister of Maharashtra is Mr. Uddhav Thackeray and Governor is Mr. Bhagat Singh Koshyari. Maharashtra was also in news as Maharashtra was tagged with Odisha under Ek Bharat Shrestha Bharat. Maharashtra was also in news as recently India Justice Report was released, and as per this report, Maharashtra is on top position in terms of justice delivery, and this report is released by Tata Trust. Apart from that, Maharashtra was also in news as Maharashtra government decided to set up Swachh Bharat World University. In addition to that, Maharashtra was also in news because of AMBIS. AMBIS stands for Automated Multimodal Biometric Identification System, and Maharashtra became the first state of India to adopt AMBIS. The government recently invited applications for Nari Shakti Puruskar. Now the question is, after which eminent personality these awards are categorized? Right answer is Mata Jijabai. So Nari Shakti Puruskar is an award conferred by the President to the women under 6 institutional category on International Women's Day. Now these categories are Mata Jijabai, Lakshmi Bai, Kannagi, Ahilyabai Holkar, Rani, Gaidinlu and Rudramma Devi. So these awards are given on International Women's Day. Answer in comment box on which date International Women's Day is observed. Shahid Bahishti Port, sometimes seen in news, is located in which country? Right answer is Iran. So this port is located in Iran. And this was in news recently because the 90th session of India-Iran Joint Commission held in Iran in Tehran. Tehran is the capital of Iran. Now India and Iran are cooperating on Chahbar Port project. And this port serves as Iran's only oceanic port, and it consists of 2 separate ports. One is Shahid Kalantari port, another one is Shahid Bahishti port. So this is a port of Iran. Now if we talk about Iran, recently Iran was in news as Iran discovered new oil fields with 53 billion barrels of crude oil, and this was discovered in Khuzestan province of Iran. Now this new discovery of oil fields would add about 34% of its total reserves. So this Khuzestan province is in Iran. A question could be asked like, recently Khuzestan province was in news. It is associated to which country? So it is associated to Iran. Iran was also in news as recently USA imposed sanctions on Iran for JCPOA. JCPOA stands for Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action. It was a nuclear deal signed between Iran and P5+1 countries. These P5 countries are permanent members of United Nations Security Council plus Germany. So total 6 countries signed this deal with Iran. However, because of some issues, USA came out of it and imposed sanctions on Iran. And due to those sanctions, Iran was not able to continue trade with rest of the countries. And therefore, to bypass those sanctions on Iran and to continue trade with Iran, 3 countries, that is France, Germany and Britain, started INSTEX. INSTEX is a mechanism to bypass US sanctions on Iran and to continue trade with it. Now, the full form of INSTEX is Instrument in Support of Trade Exchanges, and the headquarters of INSTEX is in Paris in France. And recently, this INSTEX was also in news as 6 European Union nations declared a joint statement that they are going to join INSTEX. These 6 countries are Belgium, Denmark, Netherlands, Norway, Finland and Sweden. Now coming back to France, France was also in news as it was the host of this year G7 summit. Next G7 summit is going to be in USA. Answer in comment box, is China a member of this G7 grouping? The cruise ship Sabrina Victoria will operate in which river? Right answer is River Yangtze. So Sabrina Victoria is a river cruise ship and it will be operational in 2020 in China's River Yangtze. It is largest river cruise ship and that's why it was in news. Now, if we talk about River Yangtze, it is longest river in Asia and it is 3rd longest in world. In addition to that, it is the longest in world to flow entirely within one country. What is the objective of Shiv Bhojan program that was recently approved by Maharashtra cabinet? Right answer is subsidized meal. So this is a initiative to provide subsidized meal. So as per this initiative, the meal is provided at subsidized rate of ₹10 at designated centers in the state of Maharashtra. Which pre-Renaissance artist painted the Christ-mocked painting which France is seeking to buy? Right answer is Cimabue. So the painting Christ-mocked is a work by Cimabue and this work is from 13th century pre-Renaissance era and French government is seeking to buy this artwork. Now if we talk about France, France was in news as it decided to impose green tax on plane tickets from 2020. France was also in news as it was the host of this year G7 summit. Next year, USA is going to be the host of this summit. Apart from that, France was also in news because of INSTEX. Actually, 6 European countries have recently joined INSTEX. It is Instrument in Support of Trade Exchanges and this is headquartered in France and it is a mechanism to bypass US sanctions and to continue trade with Iran. And these 6 countries have decided to join this INSTEX. These countries are Belgium, Denmark, Finland, Netherlands, Norway and Sweden. And INSTEX is an initiative by 3 most powerful countries of Europe, that is UK, France and Germany. France was also in news as it was the host of 40th UNESCO General Conference and this conference held in France in Paris. And recently, Saudi Arabia got elected as a member of World Heritage Committee of UNESCO. And this is first time that Saudi Arabia got elected. Saudi Arabia is also in news because of G20 summit as it is going to be the host of G20 summit in 2020. Which ministry recently launched the Good Governance Index? Right answer is Ministry of Personnel, Public Grievances and Pensions. So Good Governance Index was launched by Ministry of Personnel on the occasion of Good Governance Day. Good Governance Day is celebrated on 25th of December. Now, if we talk about this index, as per this index, the state and union territories are divided into 3 groups. First group is big states, second is northeast states and hill states, and third one is union territories. Now, if we talk about big states, Tamil Nadu has topped this index and Tamil Nadu is followed by Maharashtra and Karnataka, while Odisha, Bihar, Goa and Uttar Pradesh as well as Jharkhand are the worst performers in the category of big states. Now coming back to northeast as well as hill states, the index is topped by Himachal Pradesh. Himachal Pradesh is followed by Uttarakhand. If we talk about union territories, Puducherry is the best performing union territory, and Puducherry is followed by Chandigarh and Delhi. On the other hand, Lakshadweep is the worst performing union territory as per this index. Saudi Arabia and Kuwait decided to resolve the dispute over which oil region. Right answer is neutral zone. Actually, recently Saudi Arabia and Kuwait resolved their dispute over neutral zone, which lies along their border. So this is Kuwait, this is Saudi Arabia, and this is the neutral zone. This area is full of oil resources, and that's why this was a bone of contention between these two countries. So now, after a period of 5 years, they have commenced oil extraction operation in this region, and both countries will share equal rights. Now, if we talk about Saudi Arabia, recently Saudi Arabia was in news as it decided to end gender segregation in restaurants. Saudi Arabia was also in news as recently it allowed women to serve in armed forces. Apart from that, Saudi Arabia was also in news as recently it took over G20 presidency from Japan. In addition to that, Saudi Arabia was also in news as Saudi Arabia is going to host World Snooker Ranking event for first time. Apart from that, Saudi Arabia was also in news as it will host its first women's tournament. It is going to host Ladies European Tour, and this event is going to be organized in March 2020. Apart from that, Saudi Arabia and USA are among topmost polluters as per CCPI, that is Climate Change Performance Index. Recently, this index was released during COP25, and as per this index, USA and Saudi Arabia are the topmost polluters, and Sweden is the least polluter. Sweden is followed by Denmark. India is on 9th position. Recently, CBER-4A satellite was launched. Now, the question is, what is the objective of this satellite? Right answer is monitoring of Brazil's Amazon rainforest. So recently, this CBER-4A satellite was launched from China's Taiwan Satellite Launching Center, and it is a collaboration between Brazil and China. This is a Earth resource satellite, and this is going to monitor the changes in Amazon rainforest. Now, if we talk about Brazil, the president of Brazil is Mr. Jair Bolsonaro, and he is going to be the chief guest at Republic Day ceremony in 2020. In fact, the last summit of BRICS also held in Brazil. BRICS stands for Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. What is LAMOST, which recently provided information about 30,000 dwarf stars? Right answer is an optical telescope. So LAMOST stands for Large Sky Area Multi-Object Fiber Spectroscopic Telescope. It is an optical telescope, and it is also known as Guo Shoujing. So this optical telescope is located in China, and it was in news recently as it had provided information about 30,000 dwarf stars. Now, if we talk about dwarf stars, these are stars with relatively small size and low luminosity. Now, answer in comment box, what are exoplanets? The Canal Istanbul project connects the Sea of Marmara with which sea? Right answer is Black Sea. So as you can see on map, this is Black Sea, this is Sea of Marmara, and this is Canal Istanbul project. Now the Canal Istanbul project involves a creation of artificial sea level waterway that connects the Black Sea and Sea of Marmara. Now recently this project was in news as the mayor of Istanbul pulled out of the project on the grounds of environmental issues as well as on the issues of corruption. Now if we talk about Istanbul, it is in Turkey, and recently Turkey was also in news because of Turk Stream natural gas pipeline. It is a gas pipeline between Turkey and Russia. There is one more pipeline between Turkey and Russia. Answer in comment box, what is the name of that pipeline? Now if we talk about Russia, recently Russia was in news as USA passed DASKA Act. It stands for Defending American Security from Kremlin Aggression Act, and through this act USA can impose sanctions on Russia. Russia was also in news as recently it was banned by WADA for 4 years. WADA stands for World Anti-Doping Agency. That means Russian players would not be able to contest under Russian flag for 4 years. Now WADA is a global level body, and in India we have NADA, that is National Anti-Doping Agency. And recently it was in news because Mr. Sunil Sethi was appointed as the brand ambassador of NADA. The upcoming Aditya L1 mission is to operate from which orbit? Right answer is Halo orbit. So this Aditya L1 mission is India's first solar mission, and it will be launched by ISRO in 2020, and this will be operating from Halo orbit. It is a 3-dimensional operate, and it is to operate from Lagrange point 1, that is L1. Shahid Udham Singh, whose 120th birth anniversary was observed recently, is most associated with which incident? Right answer is Jallianwala Bagh tragedy. Actually, recently on 26th of December, the birth anniversary of Shahid Udham Singh was celebrated. He is a well-known freedom fighter from Punjab. He was associated to Ghadar party, and he is best known for avenging the Jallianwala Bagh massacre by assassinating Michael Dyer. The government has recently notified rules on microdot identifiers. This microdot technology is used for what purpose? Right answer is vehicle ID. Actually, to enhance vehicle safety, the Ministry of Road Transport and Highways notified rules for microdot identifiers on motor vehicles and their parts. Now, what exactly is this microdot technology? Actually, microdot identification is a process where identification tags are coded on the vehicle as well as on the parts. That means each vehicle will have a unique code, and through that code it can be identified. Similarly, there will be codes on their parts. So this will prevent vehicle theft. If we talk about Ministry of Road Transport and Highways, present minister is Mr. Nitin Gadkari. His constituency is Nagpur. Nagpur is in Maharashtra. Present Chief Minister of Maharashtra is Mr. Uddhav Thackeray, and Governor is Mr. Bhagat Singh Koshyari. Now, Ministry of Road Transport and Highways was also in news as recently Union Cabinet approved the proposal of Ministry of Road Transport and Highways, and this proposal authorized NHAI to set up INVIT. NHAI stands for National Highway Authority of India. It is a body under Ministry of Road Transport and Highways, and this body will set up INVIT. INVIT stands for Infrastructure Investment Trust. Apart from that, Ministry of Road Transport and Highways was also in news as recently it issued notification for the regulation and registration of old vintage vehicles. Omar al-Bashir, against whom the government has initiated the criminal investigation, was the former president of which country? Right answer is Sudan. So Mr. Omar al-Bashir was the president of Sudan, and recently he was in news because the Sudan government has initiated investigation into the crimes in Darfur region during the regime of Mr. Omar al-Bashir. Now, if we talk about Sudan, the capital of Sudan is Khartoum and the capital of South Sudan is Juba. And recently, South Sudan was in news because of UNMISS, that is United Nations Mission in South Sudan. And recently, approximately 850 Indian peacekeepers were awarded with the prestigious United Nations Medal for their service and contribution to peace. Manuel Marrero Cruz is the Prime Minister of which country? Right answer is Cuba. So Mr. M.M. Cruz is the new Prime Minister of Cuba. And this is for the first time in last 4 decades that Cuba has appointed a Prime Minister. And that's why it is important from exam perspective. Now, if we talk about Cuba, the capital city of Cuba is Havana. What is ECO, which was recently announced by West African countries? Right answer is a currency. So ECO is a common currency and it will be in circulation from 2020. Now, it is going to be the common currency of 8 African countries, and these 8 African countries are in Western Africa. The newly inaugurated DNA Analysis Center in Chandigarh was established under which fund? Right answer is Nirbhaya Fund. So recently, a DNA Analysis Center was inaugurated in Chandigarh under Nirbhaya Fund scheme. So this will be helpful in criminal investigation. Now, if we talk about Nirbhaya Fund, it was announced by the Government of India in 2013 in Union Budget. Now, the objective of this budget is to work towards protecting the dignity, ensuring safety of women in India. Now it should be kept in mind that it is a non-lapsable fund. Now what does that mean? Suppose for 2019, 100 rupees were allocated for this fund. Now only 90 was spent. So these 10 can be utilized next year. This means it is a non-lapsable. If it would have been a lapsable fund, then this money could not be utilized in 2020. That means next year this could not have been utilized. So it is a non-lapsable fund. Now one important fact is that this fund is administered by Department of Economic Affairs under Finance Ministry. However, there is an empowered committee of officers which is headed by the Secretary of WCD, that is Ministry of Women and Child Development, and this committee appraise and recommend proposals to be funded under this fund. Now recently Nirbhaya fund was also in news as MHA, that is Ministry of Home Affairs, sanctioned rupee 100 crore for setting up and strengthening the women help desk in police stations.
So these were the most important questions. Thank you, and that's all for the day.